Scheduled preventive maintenance is the most important responsibility of the center mechanic and his staff. In this program, we will discuss the proper way to service and maintain your GS Series pin setter. If correctly performed, scheduled preventive maintenance will decrease malfunctions, prevent major breakdowns, and lengthen the life of the pin setter. Scheduled maintenance should begin when your pin setters are new and should be performed on a regular basis. You must use a written schedule, such as these wall charts found in the back of your manual. This will prevent you and your staff from missing any important steps. This program will guide you through what should be done and how it should be done. Refer to your manual for a list of the various tools and materials needed to complete scheduled maintenance. Daily maintenance on the GS Series pin setter. Using your work schedule, first check the stop sheet for each pin setter. Copies of these forms are found in the back of your manual. It is important that all stops are recorded. The best way to accomplish this is to mount individual stop sheets on each pin setter to record the stop immediately. A stop sheet should also be used at the front desk. Once you've checked both stop sheets, you can decide what adjustments need to be done. The Shark Switch pin guide wedges must be cleaned every day with a general purpose cleaner. This prevents lane oil and dirt from building up on the surface and causing a pin jam. You should clean the pin wipes daily to reduce dirt from entering the machines. Just wash them in warm water, but don't use bleach or fabric softener. A daily check of the position of each transport band is needed. Make sure the band is centered on the rollers so it doesn't drift and start to fray. Every day, one pin setter should be completely cleaned. Not only does this allow you to keep up with your cleaning duties, but you will also have an opportunity to examine the entire machine for any loose parts or needed repairs. Clean one lane pair of pins each day to extend the life of the pins. Weekly schedule. Using a cloth or scrub mop and a general purpose cleaner, remove the oil and dirt on the transport band. Make sure to advance the band all the way around to completely clean it. Check all the V-belts for wear. Look for cracks, splits, or motor bounce. Wipe all the belts with a dry cloth while you inspect them. Be sure to look closely at the table motor drive belt. If this belt fails, it could cause the table to suddenly drop. This could severely damage the machine or cause personal injury. Make sure that the green belts are properly tensioned on the distributor, elevator, and transport band drives. If you find squealing, sagging, or slipping belts, they should be shortened or replaced. Examine the hydraulic shock absorbers for any sign of fluid leakage. Also, check the shock absorption on ball impact and the lowering of the sweep and table. Check the ball door shaft collars and split pins hitch pins to verify they are tight and holding the ball door in the correct position. Take a look at the overflow socks. If they are worn or misaligned, it can cause transport band and board damage. Correct any problems. Monthly maintenance. Using the general purpose cleaner, wipe off the dirt and oil accumulated on the front of the ball cushion and pit curtain. Check and tighten all the fastening screws on the ball cushion and transport band boards. Examine the setting table conduits for any damage from flying pins. Make sure the ball door locking mechanism is properly adjusted. The pin feed deflectors must be checked for proper clearance from the transport band and adjusted if necessary. Check the operation of the pin count switch and shark solenoid on a monthly basis. If an adjustment is necessary, refer to your service manual. The fluid levels of the hydraulic shock absorbers need to be checked on a monthly basis. Fill them to the rim while the shock shaft is in the relaxed position. Oil and grease all the items listed in the monthly lubrication schedule found in your manual. Vacuum the distributor's dustpan to remove any dirt or loose particles that have accumulated here. Remove and wash the overflow socks. Wash them with a basic laundry cleaner. Don't use bleach, as it will weaken the stitches. Quarterly maintenance. On universal electronics, check the 5-volt adjustment at J5 on the universal game center box and adjust at the common box if necessary. On consolidated electronics, check the 5-volt adjustment at J1 on the consolidated low-voltage I/O board. Adjust this at the CPU board if necessary. Clean the ball detector lens and reflectors with a glass cleaner that will not harm the plastic reflector. Make sure the guide rollers are moving freely. They should not be rubbing the side of the frames on the sweep tracks and sweep wagon guide. Also, remove any dirt or grease buildup and then reapply a fresh coat of grease. Look over the 4 table rack guide roller assemblies. At least 2 of the 3 rollers should be riding on the table rack tube, on both the upper and the lower side of each tube. Tighten and adjust if necessary. Check the tooth gap clearance between the table racks and the pinion gears. If there is not 1 to 3 millimeters of clearance in the raised and lowered positions, adjust them to the proper clearance. Examine the accelerator rails for signs of wear and replace any defective sections. Check the sweep wagon's gutter adapters for proper clearance. The overflow chutes should be checked for cracks or loose hardware. Carefully tighten all switch hardware while checking the adjustment and hardware connections for all function switches. The mounting hardware on all pin holders needs to be checked and tightened. Check and adjust the tension of both motor drive chains. Also, check the pin elevator's parallel drive chains. The distributor's bearings, shafts, and drive pulleys need to be examined for worn or loose parts. Tighten the mounting bolt and check the key for the table shaft's crank arm. Angles A and B on the table shaft's crank arm and chain need to be checked and adjusted if necessary. Lower the table onto a jack stand or suitable support. Remove the clevis and inspect it. Then, re-lubricate the crank arm shaft with grease and reinstall the clevis. Check the sweep release chain clevis for wear and oil it lightly. Lubricate all the items in the quarterly lubrication schedule located in the manual. Make sure the tooth gap between the shark drive and the spur gears is 1 to 3 millimeters. Check all shark switch adjustments. Semi-annual maintenance. The ball impact protection strips on the ball cushion board must be checked to make sure they are not loose or broken. If unchecked, this can interfere with the ball movement and cause damage to pins and balls. Inspect the ball cushion frame, stop collars, and bearings to ensure they are tight. The hardware on the kickback and accelerator box fiber plates must be checked and tightened if necessary to avoid pin and ball damage. Inspect the outer surface of the accelerator belt for cracking or wear. Then clean it with a cloth dampened with a general purpose cleaner. Check and clean the driving drums and discs. Accelerator motor suspension and the mounting shaft bushings need to be inspected to make sure the spring and V-belt are keeping the motor operating properly. The sweep release mechanism should be checked for wear, cracks, and proper operation. Check and tighten the fastening hardware on the sweep shaft bearing retainers. If the hardware is allowed to become loose, it can cause the sweep shaft to shift and the arms will hit the table. The sweep arm connecting rods and turnbuckles hardware should be inspected and tightened if needed. The clearance between the sweep track and guide rollers needs to be checked and properly adjusted. Inspect the plastic protector strips on the sweep wagon frame. Check the stroke limiter assembly for proper operation and adjustment. Make sure the stroke limiter lowers the table slowly during a detection stroke. Examine the pin holder swing shaft bushings to assure they are not worn or loose. Inspect the spotting tong tooth racks and gears for cracks which may prevent the racks from closing and opening properly. Clean them if necessary. Lubricate all the items listed in the semi-annual section of the lubrication schedule. Annual maintenance, though only done once per year, should be performed and documented just as consistently as all other maintenance. Tighten all the bolts on the pit curtain support brackets. Also, check the curtain mounting bolts. This will prolong the life of the pit curtain. Check and tighten the protector wedges and rings around the ball door. This will prevent ball jams and damage. Make sure the mounting hardware for the electronic boxes is tight and that the grounding straps are installed properly. Cabling should be inspected for any signs of wear. All the welding assembly should be checked for any breakage. Re-weld or replace any cracked or broken parts to prevent extensive downtime later. Check all pivot and wear points for excessive play and tighten, adjust, or replace where it is necessary. Using your annual lubrication schedule, lubricate all the items listed. This completes the 4-part program for GS Series pin setters. Using these video programs, the service manual, and your expertise will keep your pin setters running smoothly for many years to come.